Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking all about the Tangled Web team. Spider-Man 2099 there in the background. Spider-Man Noir just recently released into the game. I want to talk about my experiences and other people's experiences in Cosmic Crucible with this new team, with Spider-Weaver, with both Weaver and 2099. At this point, I don't think that there's anyone with Noir. I don't think we're going to start seeing Noir stuff in Crucible until probably next week, because unless someone built them up really quickly and shoved them in for trial number 3, I think it's probably a bit unlikely. But we'll be talking about his kit more broadly and what he's going to bring to the team. And I want to go over some of the screenshots that people have shared with me in my own Discord about, defense wins and things like that, and what's worked with some of the 2099 characters with Spider-Weaver. So if you're ready to go, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. I'm doing this late at night. And that like button. So if you're ready to go, then let's boil this down. Oh, that's the wrong screen. That's my Cosmic Crucible. We're going to get to that because I actually want to do an attack as well in this video because I have left up my Team 3. First of all, we're going to start with here. So I have like 6 or 7 screenshots here of different Spider-Weaver and 2099. These are all room 3, by the way, for the Spider-Verse room. And I just kind of want to go over some of these because I think they're kind of interesting now that we have Spider 2099 and what he brings to the table outside of Spider-Weaver. I think the main goal, in my opinion, for a lot of this is who do they counter? Oh, sorry. What's required to beat them. And actually Bionic Avengers, for a long time, that's what people were using, not only to clear out Web Warriors, but they were actually successfully beating Web Warriors Spider-Weaver. But now that 2099 has been added to the mix, I think it's a lot more difficult. Part of the reason why I wanted to share this one is because I thought it was really funny, because there's a Gear Tier 16 Shatterstar and Longshot, which I would not recommend personally at this point, but I think because of the buffs to the hero mutants, I think it's quite funny to see. And so what I assume would happen here, and I really wish that they would maybe consider a Crucible replay, just like that they were considering for War. I think that might be coming back for Alliance War at the start of patch 6.5 next patch, but I hope that they maybe consider doing that for Crucible as well, because I think it would be very beneficial for us as content creators and just for players to see sort of replays like in battle, like how it played out. And I think that would be really helpful, other than just having to look at these judgments here. But here you can see that them attempting to use the Eternals with basically a lot of speed mechanics with Loki and Emma, and then Baron Zemo here to, I guess, maybe ability block Spider-Weaver, something like that as well. And it didn't work. And so what will happen, at least on this side of the field, is that Spider-Man 2099 is going to go first. Because as long as Weaver's on the field, 2099 gets speed up, which shoots him way up on the speed bar in terms of going first. His ultimate is going to go, and then that's going to give speed bar to Spider-Weaver, which is then likely going to make her go second, probably. As far as this, I don't know if Zemo outspeeds 2099. I honestly don't think so, because Baron Zemo doesn't have speed up. He just gets like 40% enhanced speed, which is less than the 50% that 2099 will get. But then there's Emma Frost, so I'm not sure who goes first in this scenario, and that would have been interesting to see. Either way, it didn't work. And then you see that this second attack here, don't know exactly what they were doing here. Somehow they managed to clear Spider-Weaver, so that was pretty funny, and I think that nothing else really happened on that one. This next one here, this is kind of interesting. Bionic Avengers versus Weaver 2099, Ghost Spider, Scarlet Spider, and Shuri. And so you can see that Bionic Avengers failed. It was a slight punch up, though. I would have liked to see maybe a stronger BA, maybe about 900k BA, which is more about what mine's at, and to see whether or not it would work. They bailed out, and then they ended up bringing in Infinity Watch, and Infinity Watch seemed to kill it. So that's kind of interesting. I currently have my Infinity Watch on the defense. I'm wondering if maybe I should pull them off if I'm going to be able to use them to beat this. Of course, we don't know what that's going to look like once Spider-Man Noir comes in. That could be a completely different story altogether because he's going to bring damage to the team. This one's kind of somewhat similar to the first one, but on the defense, they have Symbiote Spider-Man, Anti-Venom, Cloak, Dagger. Actually, this is just Spider-Weaver. It's not 2099. So that's my bad, but regardless, the Eternals didn't work either. They should have probably used some more speed bar mechanics in here rather than using New Warriors. That didn't work, but then they brought in this here, which was similar to one of the other ones we saw, and that did work. But this isn't with 2099. This one is with 2099. Pretty sure this is a different one. Yeah, so this is 832k Bionic Avengers versus a similar... Is that the same? I think it was a different trial. I think one was maybe trial 1, and one was trial 2, because I realized that this is the same... I think this is the same person on defense. But regardless, anyways, this is a higher Bionic Avengers, and it still didn't work. And so what they did end up bringing in is a Dormammu Secret Avengers Kestrel, and that did work. So it makes me wonder, like, is Dormammu then going to be required to some extent to counter these Tangled Web characters? You know, if that's just going to make it easier. I don't even know who I'm really using my Dormammu with at this time anyways. I have him on the offense, of course, but I'm wondering if I'm going to have to reserve him for eventually when Spider-Man Noir comes out to use them in Room 3 to counter the Tangled Web, or, you know, what else is going to be able to beat them. Then we have this one here. This is 800k BA against 686k Tangled Web and Web Warriors, and they were able to kill 2 of them, but it still didn't one-shot them. And what's really interesting about this is because even one loss in Cosmic Crucible can often make or break a match. So even one defense victory is pretty good, and that's just with a pretty low-powered, like a 50k 2099. So clearly he wasn't really the one carrying the team there. It was just the passive that was helping the rest of them, and probably Spider-Weaver carrying that a little bit. And then they brought in Dark Hunters and finished it off. And then finally, this is from Captain King. He's the guy who does my infographics. This is kind of interesting here because this is a 928k Bionic Avengers versus... yeah, he did this Spider-Weaver 2099 Underworld team. And his argument for that one was that because if you have Taskmaster on the team, Deathlock actually has 200% accuracy. So you lose 100% from Spider-Weaver. And if he blinds Deathlock, if Taskmaster blinds Deathlock, that's an additional drop in 100%, meaning that he does actually have 0. Now, some of the attacks that the Bionic Avengers have are unavoidable, including Viv's ult, I think, Hulkbuster's ult. Not Deathlock's special. A lot of people think it's unavoidable. It's not. It can't be dodged, but because of the accuracy reduction, it can actually miss Vision's ult and Iron Man's special. So there are 4 attacks that are unavoidable, but the rest actually can be mitigated by the accuracy reduction by Spider-Weaver. And then, of course, they bring in a Hero Asgardian's full team after 2099, and probably cooldowns are blown to finish off the attack. But the point is, like I said before, even one defense victory can make or break Crucible. So that's very important there. And I think it's kind of interesting to see that Bionic Avengers is slowly not really working in a one-shot capacity anymore. And that's what's the most important thing, because really at the end of the day is, can it beat Bionic Avengers? And yes, at least with 2099, it seems that is the case, which is really good. Mileage does vary a little bit depending on how high powered they are. Keep in mind, this was a 600k team here, and this is 928k. So that's pretty impressive if you ask me. So the second thing I want to talk about, before we go to my gameplay footage that I'm going to do live here, well, live for me anyways, is talk about Spider-Man Noir and what he's going to bring to the field. I pulled a 5 red Spider-Man Noir. It was a one and done. It wasn't really worth recording, but I just wanted to share with you what I got. Pulled an Elite 5. Got him. Okay, great. You know, I don't even know if we're going to get that high in yellow stars. I think we're only going to get a 3-star. We'd be lucky if we're going to get a 4-star, but we'll have to wait and see when his event comes along the 3rd week of October. Now, his basic, it gains stealth, and then he gets evade as well. The issue is that it doesn't do any of that in the assist, basically the striker ISO, so he's not a striker kind of character that you're going to want to run. Chicago Typewriter, it's a lot of damage to a single character. It's on a cooldown of 3 as well, which is very quick. 300% piercing plus apply bleed, and then he does an additional follow-up to the most injured enemy for 320% piercing and apply bleed. And then if the primary target has no negative effects, fill this character's speed bar by 50%. He has a lot of speed bar mechanics, and we're going to talk about that down when we get to the passive. His ultimate also is on a cooldown of 5, which isn't too terrible. Attack primary target for 350% piercing and apply 3 bleed and heal block, which is a lot of bleeds. And then adjacent targets for a little bit less, and 2 bleeds. If this character has stealth, apply disrupted for 2 turns to the primary target. His passive, you know, he has actually got a pretty like low text amount of a low text amount of kit text, whatever, it doesn't matter. I shouldn't record videos late at night, but yeah, I mean it's pretty simple, but it's effective. In Crucible, if health is at full at the start of the match, he gets revived once, which is cool. This character attacks deal an additional 50. This is not really that important. It's flavor text. It has nothing to do with what he's probably going to do. When an enemy gains a positive effect, this though, fill this character's speed bar by 10%. I don't think we've ever had a mechanic like this, so I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work. For example, if he goes up against, or they go up against Bionic Avengers, Vision gives on spawn defense up. Does that count? And is that going to give him speed bar? I would assume at that point passives don't trigger passives, but you know, we've heard that term before, and sometimes it's not always consistent. So I think this is something that we're going to have to see in action. What affects it and what doesn't on spawn buffs versus applied buffs, those kind of things as well. But he's also going to give the Tangled Web allies 15% damage, and then he also gives non-Tangled Web Spider-Verse allies 15% damage as well. Oh my god. Non-Tangled Web Spider-Verse allies sorry, it's a bit of a mouthful there. Everyone else basically gets 15% damage, so that's fine too. So actually, when I was looking at that Captain King thing with the Underworld, I wonder if that's still viable. Maybe I'm thinking of like the 3 Tangled Web and Mr. Negative and Taskmaster. I think that could be the winning combination, or Kingpin and Taskmaster, or some combination of those 3 characters, because I think Taskmaster is still going to have some value, especially if you pair up with Mr. Negative when he comes out, because Mr. Negative is Spider-Verse as well, so that could be pretty interesting too with his kit, and we'll talk about that more, of course, when we get closer to the time. Now, yeah, so the character has stealth. He doesn't spawn with stealth, though, so I don't know how frequently that's actually going to happen. My question is, how fast is he going to be getting turns with this in effect, because this is quite something. So a lot of teams and characters do apply, you know, positive stats effects. And is it just 10% flat, or is it 10% per enemy or per character? For example, if the team gets all buffs, is that 50% speed bar, or is it just 10% every time it happens? I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see when that comes out. So now I kind of want to bring our to attention is my Cosmic Crucible. I've been saving this to do this here with you guys. I have 2 teams left. I mostly want to just do the Spider-Mania team here, because this is not with Spider-Man 2099, but it is with the Spider-Weaver, and it's a pretty big powered team. Now, I'll show you what I have used, which tells me what I have left. So, I have to go to my results here and my attacks. So what have I used? I've used my Weapon X, Doom to beat Hero as Guardians. I used Unlimited X-Men to beat Astonishing X-Men. I used this to beat this sort of dorm mixture with my own dorm mixture, and then Secret Avengers Kestrel Emma to beat a very similar matchup. I just used Emma Frost to outspeed them, and I had no problems clearing that out. So what teams do I have left? Well, that leaves me with Bionic Avengers, because I saved that, and also Gamma. So, other than that, I do have Shang-Chi standalone, Shuri standalone, and Doc Ock. But as full teams go, I have New Warriors as well, but that's not going to work. I have Bionic Avengers, and I have Gamma. Now, my first thoughts is because they don't have Spider-Man 2099, I'm thinking of going in with Gamma. And the reason for that is that I think Red Hulk is going to outspeed Spider-Weaver. And then I can use the special, the slam thing, to knock back the turn bar on Spider-Weaver. And then hopefully things get a little bit better from there. I'm actually thinking of using Shang-Chi as my 5th. Now, I do have Abomination geared up. I probably should use him, but he's not as high as I'd like him to be. So my Abomination's only about 100k. I'm slowly raising him. I actually ran out of Bio G14s. So he's stuck at gear 14. And my Shang-Chi's like over 200k. So I'm thinking with the speed bar reduction that we can do it this way. So I'm going to do this. They're tier 16. But instead of Invisible Woman, I'm going to use Shang-Chi. Because I'm hoping that Red Hulk actually knocks back the turn bar here and then puts Shang-Chi ahead of them. And his kick is basically unavoidable as long as Spider-Weaver does not get her turn and use her ultimate. So that's kind of what I'm thinking of there. Like I said, my Abomination's pretty low still. I don't think he's that high. Maybe he's 120k, but yeah, I mean, I'd like him to be a little bit better. And in the past, I've used Shang-Chi to beat Web Warriors as well. So that's another reason why I want to do this. As far as my positioning goes, I kind of feel that Red Hulk should be behind regular Hulk. Because I haven't changed that in a while. So we're going to stick Braun in the center. Because he only gets charges if he gets hit outside of war. And so Hulk is going to be tanking most of the time. So I think that that's probably okay. Now, hopefully, you know, by next week, my Abomination will be level 90 and hopefully gear tier 16. And so I'll probably just use him instead. And I am losing some things, of course, from passives by not having him on the field. But I'm hoping that Shang-Chi's stats make up for this. And so this is exactly what I was hoping, was that he would go first. And so I'm going to actually go here in the middle. And we're going to hit twice, and we get the offense down on 2 of them. But, yes, and then now, there's 3 buffs on Scarlet Spider. Bam! Hopefully this does a fair bit of damage. Oh, wow! Spider Weaver, get fucked. And then we're going to, over here, we're going to use the special to grab that offense up if we can. And spread it to the team. We didn't. No, I thought it pulls everything. Oh no, she did use the ult. Okay, so now I'm in a little bit of trouble because she's not dead. And now my characters are going to miss. And I'm hoping that, at the very least, I can, you know, clear some of the... I can get the taunt up, that's good. And I was hoping that Red Hulk would get hit a little bit. All of this stuff is going to miss, because if it's not unavoidable, which most of it's not, and I'm just going to attack random characters. But now I'm going to get hit by Ghost Spider's passive. Maybe I should be attacking Spider Weaver, though. So there's 2 charges left here. 1 charge left. Wait, what's triggering the charges? Missing. Does that count the passives? No, it doesn't. Okay, so she still has one charge. I feel like it went really quickly. I don't know if my counters on Hulk actually got rid of the... That went really fast, and I wasn't really quite paying attention to that. Let's go here. Okay. So I can't flip any of this, which is a little bit disappointing. But I'm just going to do damage anyways, because I want to do more damage to her. So the charges are all gone. That's fine. My characters are taking a little bit of a beating, and I think that we need to probably just get more damage out. Spider Weaver is really holding in there, which is a bit of a pain. Ooh, my Hulk took a lot of damage. Braun needs to heal up. I need to get that ultimate. Shit. Oh no, there's heal block, but I think as long as I get Braun's turn, please, Braun. We got 5 charges on Red Hulk. That's really good. Come on, Braun. Okay, there we go. We need to heal everyone. And that does distribute through heal block, which is fine. Oh my god! Oh! Well, that's interesting. I don't know if you guys saw, but Spider Weaver got her ult off or something and had charges. But She-Hulk's passive killed her? I'm gonna have to rewatch that. I didn't quite see that. It went really fast. And it worked. This worked. Would this work with Spider-Man 2099? I don't know. I'm actually... It's a bit unfortunate that Shang-Chi didn't end up... I don't know if he crit, because I was kind of hoping that he would have killed Spider-Weaver there, because I know that she got really, really low before she took her turn. This probably won't be possible with 2099, but I would be interested in trying it anyways, because I have been keeping Gamma for offense, and I kind of wanted to see what more that they could do, really. Okay, we did get the win, though. It took a little bit longer, but I'm okay with that. It was a one-shot for just now until more of the Tangled Web come online. And that's really what I was here to do. I'm not going to be recording my Wakandan fight here, because that's not what this video is all about. This video is all about Tangled Web. Let me know what your experiences are with this team in the comments down below, whether or not you've been fighting just Spider Weaver or Spider Weaver and 2099. And of course, in the coming days and next week, we'll be seeing what Spider-Man Noir brings to the field as well, and how that's going to shake up at least Room 3 in Cosmic Crucible. That's the end of this video, and of course, until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.